and welcome to this edition of CPSB-TV. I'm Layla.
And I'm Brennan. Here's what's coming your way in today's show. Say bye to earbuds and cell phones at some Calcasieu Parish high schools. We'll tell you what's behind the policy changes.
In cutting down on fights at school, we have a report about an increase in security and strict consequences.
Plus, you don't want to miss the story of one of our teachers who is pulling double duty as a volunteer firefighter as fires continue to burn in our area.
Our top story, 2 more high schools have made the decision to be a part of strict cell phone and earbud policy enforcement this school year.
Sam Houston High School started last spring with students being required to power down phones and put them away with AirPods in student bags during school hours.
Now, Iowa and Barbe High School have joined in as well in an attempt to minimize distraction and violence. CPSB-TV reporter Anastasia Denney talked to Iowa Schools admin and students about the changes.
If you walk in some CPSB hallways today between about 7:45 to 3 o'clock, you won't see as many students on their phones. That's because of the enforcement of a district cell phone policy to curb what has become a huge distraction in the classroom.
It changed more to align with the parish policy, cell phone policy rule. In years past, we have been a bring your own device school. We became one of those schools prior to every student having a laptop. So when the parish adopted and was able to provide every student a laptop, the bring your own device, kind of became obsolete.
Iowa High School Assistant Principal Roland Watley says there is no need for students to have their cell phones in class or in the halls, but there is one exception.
The only exception to the rule is students are allowed when they're outside in our courtyard area. They can be on their cell phones at that point in time to call or text or make any kind of communications they need to.
Some students say the new policy is helping them focus more, while others say they missed the option of sometimes listening to music or scrolling on their phones if they were done with assignments.
It is helping me focus more, but computers, they can be very distracting as well because they have games and stuff on them.
I liked last year when I could have my headphones and my phone out so I could listen to my music.
Despite some of the students' feelings, Mr. Watley says his staff has seen an improvement in students focusing in class and a decrease in behavioral issues.
I think it's been a positive. Our students seem to be more focused on things that matter. School. As I've said when we're here in the beginning of the school year, but there's been a marked decrease in behavior issues.
The consequence of not following the policy is your device gets taken, your parents are notified to come pick it up, and you face a day of in-school suspension. Reporting for CPSB-TV, I'm Anastasia Denney.
Here at College Street, our administrators follow the district policy of phones and earbuds being put away during class time.
This time of the school year, we see a rise in fights happening on school campuses. I talked to students and staff at Barbe High School about the effects of this violence and what can be done to stop it. It's no secret that Barbe High School has had on-campus fights this school year that have gotten a lot of attention. It's something students say they see as a bad look for the school.
I think it's a negative impact. I think it's making everybody not as happy and not want to be here.
These fights are very distracting to our learning because everyone's very concerned about the next fight and what's going to happen next instead of what we're being taught.
Additional school resource officers have been brought in to help reduce the chance of more fights.
The extra authority basically just helps curtail any new fighting. The show of force or the show of the presence of here, it does help a lot of the students that aren't involved, makes them feel safer.
Mr. Thigpen says the consequences for fighting depend on where it happens and how many people are involved.
Consequence of fights is that if you are fighting on school campus, we're going to prosecute it or apply consequences according to the CPSB policy. And if it is a group or gang fight mainly meaning more than 2 people at a time, then they will be expelled from school or put up for expulsion. So that's kind of the consequence there.
While the increase with security is to make the school feel safer, it brings mixed emotions from anxiety to general unease.
I think it just brings like a negative feel to the school, makes it feel like more like a prison.
Students who record and share fights on social media will also face disciplinary action. School security is an issue students and parents take seriously each year. Here at College Street Vocational Center, we have some unique security challenges like busing in students from 6 different high schools throughout the day. That has led to some new changes this year for security. One of the most noticeable changes is the addition of a CPSO school resource officer. We talked to our assistant principal, Mr. Chad Beebe, about this year's new plan for security.
The new security changes this year, we do have a SRO. Helps us out a lot, gives us kind of a presence on the school, and most of the kids have noticed by now. Also, we've requested an electronic gate. for the front. That way we can have all the gates locked at all times, and then we can open that front gate before buses get here. All that stuff makes it a little easier. And then whenever parents, if they come to drop off, they're in the middle of a block, we can let them in. That way all of our gates are shut and we're completely closed.
Another change this year is with the campus having a single entry point. All buses, parents, and student drivers come through the same entry in order to keep the other gates locked.
Teen suicide is a topic that is tough to talk about, but one that is bringing students together to fight for change. This is footage from the Suicide Prevention Walk hosted by Calcasieu Parish Sheriff's Office and School Board. Students came out to show their support for fellow teens who are struggling, and even families who have lost their loved ones. Tables were set up to connect students with counseling services, hotlines, and mental health resources. Every Calcasieu school ID has Suicide Crisis Lifeline. You can always call or text 988. It has been an exhausting month for the men and women sacrificing their time to fight wildfires in our area.
Many of them have taken time away from their jobs to protect and serve during this disaster. CPSB-TV reporter Shamisia Guillory has a story of one Calcasieu Parish teacher pulling double duty.
For more than a week now, fires have been burning across much of Louisiana. To fight these fires, help has been called in from surrounding communities, even other states, offering their time and resources to save lives and property. One of those volunteer firefighters is Christian Parsons with Houston River Volunteer Fire Department. He's a familiar face with his fire crew and with this crew at College Street Vocational Center, where he teaches emergency medical classes.
Whenever I go on calls and I work emergency scenes, it keeps me relevant in the field because the world of emergency services is ever changing. And if I am able to keep up by volunteering my time for the community, I'm able to help my community and I'm able to get my experience that I need at the same time.
Mr. Parsons has been a volunteer firefighter for 1 year, and it's his 3rd year in the classroom. He says it's a perfect blend for 2 of his passions.
I have a passion for emergency medical services. I always wanted to get into instruction because I really like kids too. So getting to do both, getting to help my community by creating new EMTs that have a passion for the field just like I did is really important to me.
This makes a big impact on his students too, who can see that he lives out what he teaches them.
I understand a lot where he's coming from. You know, he's got to go out there and he has responsibilities out there as a firefighter, and you know, come in here and teach us in the mornings, and it means a lot to me because, you know, my father's a fire chief and, you know, he's out there right now, you know, and all the men and women out there, you know, have respect for him.
I feel like it's a better learning experience because he can tell us from experience and show us how it actually is done in the real world, and I feel like it's a lot better experience to learn that way.
Mr. Parsons says he's proud to be an example to his students about helping the community in times of need.
I have a passion for helping the community, and it's what I've always wanted to do, and to be able to do both means a lot.
Reporting for CPSB-TV, I'm Shamisia Guillory.
As of today, the Tiger Island fire that Mr. Parsons has helped fight has burned over 31,000 acres and is about 84% contained.
If you're unsure of your next step after high school or maybe even unmotivated, there's an event that might pique your interest. On Monday, October 23rd, there's a college and career fair happening at the McNeese Rec Complex. Over 40 colleges, universities, business, industry, and military branches participate in this fair. Students are given the opportunity to speak with representatives about all aspects of their post-secondary education, process, employment, potential, and military service.
The College and Career Fair is geared toward all high school students. Mainly, they're looking at juniors and seniors that are interested in different career fields and different colleges.
Students can also register with colleges or vocational schools that are at the fair. There are even job interview options. Make sure you dress to impress. Fall in Southwest Louisiana brings lots of art events, and one really cool exhibit just passed through.
CPSB-TV reporter Kaley Cotton-Welsh takes us inside the Black Wax Museum on loan with the Black Heritage Gallery.
I'm here at the Black Heritage Gallery where the event is proven to already be a big hit. I wanted to bring something different to Lake Charles because I wanted the community to see something different within the African American culture. Not only do we do art, we do sculptures, we do wax museum, and there's a lot of people in the community, they don't have the opportunity to go to Baltimore to see it. So I thought it would be a great thing to bring it here to Lake Charles and let the people experience it.
The thing that jumped out the most to me about each one of them, they were all unique, they all told their own story, but when you look at them, you look deeper than the outside appearance. Some of the things just have like that uniqueness about them, and it's like they just grab you, reach out and to grab your heart. So it was just unique, and I was glad to finally do that.
I think it's absolutely amazing. It's phenomenal. I think we're so blessed in our community to be able to have such an exhibit come to our town. It's always interesting to see wax on stage and how realistic it looks. So I was truly amazed by that.
The most heartwarming thing about coming to this event was seeing the people and the children and everyone interacting with each other while viewing the figures that are on display. Reporting from CPSB-TV, I'm Kaley Cotton-Welsh.
Another exhibit on display in September at 1911 City Hall honors the life and legacy of jazz and blues musician Nellie Lutcher. There are 45 pieces of photography, performance gowns, records, and treasured memorabilia. Nellie Lutcher's name and story live on with the dedication of the Nellie Lutcher Cultural District in Lake Charles.
Southwest Louisiana is home to miles and miles of beaches, and unfortunately many of them are polluted by the people using them. That's why our community recently held a beach cleanup on Saturday, September 17th. LaGrange High School Student Council and Washington Marriott's ROTC cleaned up a section of North Beach along I-10. This event happens every year on the third Saturday in September. That's it for this edition of CPSB-TV.
Don't forget to follow us on our social media sites. See you next time.
Hey, yo.